Sorry, sir.
I'll just ask you super quickly. Your minister said they're going on vacation. No, don't put your hands on me. Don't put your hands on me.
More than any political leader on the face of the earth, Justin Trudeau carefully manages his media appearances. Who's allowed access to him? Who can get into press conferences? Who he'll arrest if they get too close? Who he'll sit down for an interview with?
You had your media advance call the RCMP because I was going to ask questions that you didn't want. I wasn't the CBC, I wasn't CTV, I wasn't Global News, so you had to be arrested, so we came in.
Following his catastrophic by-election loss in Toronto, the Prime Minister has gone into hiding. He refuses to call a caucus meeting, and his administration is hanging on by a thread.
Right here.
Okay. Sure, thank you. Are you looking for a replacement right now?
No, I am absolutely not. I am running in the next election.
Are you concerned at all about your poll numbers?
No, I am not.
What causes you to not be concerned?
After reviewing open source information and discerning the whereabouts of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's plane, we realized he was in hiding in Tofino. The mainstream media was calling it a vacation. But we knew where he was, and we knew that this was the only opportunity we'd have to get questions answered.
Could I ask you though? Sorry, sir. I'll just ask you super quickly. Your minister said they're going on vacation. No, don't put your hands on me. Don't put your hands on me.
Then please.
Your minister said that going on vacation on road trips actually causes the world to be set on fire.
Thank you, sir.
We're wondering
Have a good
how
day.
you could justify coming on a huge plane. Would you say that you're hiding from your caucus, actually?
You're enjoying your time on vacation? Good. You having a good time on vacation, sir?
I'm
Are you on
happy to speak with you
vacation?
because actually
You
this
on
is the first
vacation?
time we've been
Are
able
you
to
on
speak with
vacation?
you
Have a
because
good
your
day.
government is so... We want to know why you can justify going on a chartered government flight when your minister says that going on a simple road trip.
The line is right here.
Sure, thank you.
I'll be with you in a bit.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So tell me.
I just want to
Hang
know.
on, no. I asked
the questions.
You asked about your mom. You asked about your mom.
Okay, sure.
Do you think Prime Minister should be able to have a family life?
Absolutely.
Okay. Can you imagine?
Now, one question. No, I get to ask one
You've
question.
asked
You ask one
multiple
question.
questions.
You haven't
I'm gonna
answered
ask
one though.
more.
So
I'm going to ask one more.
families get.
Do
Prime
you
ministers
think-
get to have a family
do you
life.
think-
Journalists also get to have
do you
access to
think-
prime ministers.
I have. Okay. So what's your question?
Well, I want to know if you're hiding from your caucus, why you won't call a caucus meeting.
I am not hiding from my caucus, and I've had many, many conversations and meetings with caucus. Okay, question for you now. Can you imagine, and do you think that kids who grow up in a prime minister's family deserve to have a normal-ish life with their family?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. And can you understand
Can I ask a question, Mitchell?
Go ahead.
So you are passing a bill right now. You're pushing through a bill that's going to, it's called the Online Harms Act, and you're sort of putting a bunch of policy in behind protecting children. You say it's all about protecting children, but that bill is actually going to censor Canadians' ability to access the internet, to exercise free speech. Why put those two bills together? Why not separate them?
First of all, it's actually not doing any censoring of the internet, and it's entirely focused on protecting kids. So, my kids spend an awful lot of their life dealing with me as Prime Minister. Every now and then, I get to go away and watch my kids playing in the water. And this is the 10 days I get on vacation for the entire summer. And as you know, I work more days a week than the vast majority of Canadians.
You've actually taken hundreds of vacation days last year.
Hold on.
I'll let you finish. Sorry.
You can do the math. Glenn McGregor did the math last year, pointed out how many days I work as Prime Minister, and it's equivalent of working every single day of the week and Saturday and not taking any day off, not any bank holidays, not 2 weeks of vacation, nothing. I work incredibly hard, and I get to be dad with my kids with nothing else going on for 10 minutes. My son was just out there in the water, splashing around, and he came to see me because he was so excited that I came out to see him, and he instead saw me giving an interview, being Prime Minister again, and right now he just wants me to be my dad, and I'm trying to give him a little bit of that right now. I'm happy to take questions when I'm in Ottawa. I'm happy to take questions when I'm making announcements. I do more media press conferences than any other politician these days.
Justin, can you tell me why your Minister of Climate Change is serving on a communist council? Can you tell me about that, Justin?
So your government has overseen the greatest collapse of news media in this country's history. When will you take responsibility for your own incompetence, Prime Minister?
So we actually had to sue you to get into the government debates.
Who do you work for?
I work for the Counter Signal, but
Okay, what is that?
formerly it's a conservative, albeit right-wing news outlet based out of Calgary, and we had to fight to get into the leaders' debates during the last election. Why did you stop? You might say it was a debate commission, but it's a debate commission that you created.
No, it's
stopped
not.
a lot of independent journalists from coming in to ask questions.
The Ottawa Press Gallery is a self-regulating body of journalists who make determinations who gets to be members of political journalists in the Parliament Press Gallery. The government has no say in that. It's your peer journalists who make decisions about who gets accredited in the Parliamentary Press Gallery.
Do you think that it's a little bit strange that your minister, Mark Holland, said that going on a road trip...
We're just going to change...
No, I'm just going to keep asking you questions. Hopefully it's okay. Mark Holland said that going on a road trip is equivalent to setting the world on fire. But
you can take a summer fun time vacation where you're locked in a car for 10 consecutive days, nonstop with no bathroom breaks, and the Conservatives have a plan for you to have that summertime fun. And the cost? Give up the future of the planet.
But you chartered a private government jet. No, let me finish my question. You chartered a government jet to Fino so that you could be isolated with your family. Totally fair. But lots of Canadian families want...
I'm not isolated.
I mean, this is almost the most western point in the country. You live in Ottawa. I'm not going to do the math on how much carbon that burns.
What Mark Holland was talking about was the math that the Conservative Party did on the road trips taken this summer was the equivalent of going from the tip of northern Canada to Patagonia and back 4 times. That's the kind of road trip that the Conservative Party math was actually talking about. Now, lots of Canadians going on vacation all the summer. I don't get on a commercial jet. I don't get to do a long road trip because I only take 10 days off on the summer, so I have to fly to come see my friends and family in Vancouver. If I'm going to fly to the West Coast, I have to fly on an Air Force jet, a Royal Canadian Air Force jet. Those are things that every Prime Minister has to do. It's something that is just the rules that applies to all Prime Ministers. So if I'm going to go away with my family to a beautiful part of this country where I spent time growing up, I need to do it this way.
Do you see any similarities between yourself and Joe Biden's current political situation?
No.
Are you trying to...
Now we've got a lot of questions.
Sure.
I guess my last question is, do you believe that good people should be stepping up in politics for all different parties?
I think that good people should be elected to office for sure. I think that that's an important thing.
Do you realize that one of the challenges we have right now is good people are looking at the costs of being in politics, being in public life, costs on family, costs on all sorts of different levels, and wondering whether or not it's worth it?
Are you calling yourself a good person here?
No, I am saying that my job right now is to try and encourage people to step up into politics, and that's part of what I'm doing. And a lot of people look at the aggressiveness of tracking someone down and challenging them on vacation while they're on the beach trying to spend some time with their 10-year-old son, who I'm going to have to go try and explain that to. A lot of people will say, wow, I don't know that they'd want to sign up for this. And one of the challenges we have in a democracy is we need to make sure that good people from all different parties step up and not get their private time turned into public time.
Are you looking for a replacement right now?
No, I am absolutely not. I am running in the next election.
Are you concerned at all about your poll numbers?
No, I am not.
What causes you to not be concerned?
Because I spend a lot of time talking with Canadians. A lot of time you're focusing on the things that we're doing to actually deliver for people.
Does it not concern you that wherever you go, you get a lot of backlash because of what you're doing with the country?
What concerns me is I can't bring my kids away with me on vacation without having that vacation interrupted and having private times at 6 o'clock in the evening on a beautiful night in a beautiful Canadian beach.
I appreciate that you want to spend time with your family. It is a great story, but the issue is a
story. It's a story.
It's a great narrative for sure.
It's a great.
But at the end of the day, Justin,
do you have any kids?
You were the
do you have
prime.
any kids?
No, I don't. At the end of the day,
okay.
at the end of the day, Justin, you were the prime minister.
Yes. So I'm not allowed to have a vacation with my kids.
I think that Canadians need to get answers from you more often than they do.
Okay.
I think that you hide behind press conferences, that you determine who gets access to, so that you can make sure that state-funded journalists. No, definitely, and I appreciate that. But this is what we had to do. We had to fly out to Tofino to find you on a beach to ask you just several questions.
That's the job you get paid to do. Did you do this for free, or are you going to get paid for this? Because you're paid.
Hopefully I get paid. Hopefully this was enough money that people want to chip in. But the thing is, you've had me arrested outside of your house, Justin. Yes, you have. Yes, Terry Guillon actually called the RCMP to pull me out of a press conference. It was the press conference actually where you were talking about how monetary policy, you don't think about it very often. You had your media advance. You had your media advance call the RCMP because I was going to ask questions that you didn't want. I wasn't the CBC, I wasn't CTV, I wasn't Global News. So you had your arrested. So we came out.
You have your countercultural way of doing things, and you're getting this message out. I hope you get lots of likes. I'm sure you will because you have me actually engaging with you. And now I'm going to say, thank you for coming out here and doing your job to contribute to democracy. And I'm going to go back and be with my family so that I can get back to work on contributing to democracy when I come home from vacation.
All right, thanks for your time.
Have a great day, guys.
That is the most time that an independent journalist has had with Justin Trudeau. I asked some questions. I had a lot more to ask. He's good at shouting back and telling a story, telling a narrative that he's formed over a long amount of time. But at the end of the day, it does tell you a lot that a journalist has to fly on 2 planes from Calgary to Vancouver, and then from Vancouver to a float plane that then flies out to Tofino, that I then have to come out to this beach and wait here for hours until we're able to speak with our Prime Minister. The Prime Minister has to be accountable to Canadians, and Canadians are suffering more than ever. Justin Trudeau thinks that it's totally normal for him to get on a government jet flown by the Air Force. He's very proud of that. Bring his family out, bring his friends out, and hang out in this extremely exclusive area of the country so he can remain as out of touch as possible. He calls it a vacation, but at the end of the day, Justin right now is actually hiding from his caucus. He refuses to call a caucus meeting after he lost that by-election in Toronto, a by-election that is going to cause a disaster for Justin Trudeau in the general election. It's Fortress Toronto. He's lost it, and he's not holding himself accountable to his caucus with that failure. So we come out here to ask him some questions. I was actually delighted to see that he responded. If you want to support the work that we're doing to hold Justin Trudeau accountable, asking questions that the CBC would never ask, you can go to supportthesignal.com. If you get a subscription to the Counter Signal, you'll have unlimited access to our breaking news and stories on culture and politics in Canada. And you can also pitch in to help me cover the cost of the one-way flight that I got here and the one-way flight I'm going to get home. I am going to leave Justin to his family now, to the vacation, so he calls it, while he's in hiding for the remainder of the week here. I hope you enjoyed it, the interview, and please stay tuned for more. For the Counter Signal, I'm Cian Bexte.
We will continue to keep you informed as this story unfolds.